Another thing too, I disagree with. You hear a lot of people say you have to be sick to, um, get a therapist, and that's definitely I don't agree with that either. So that's one of them, things. A lot of us therapists are trying to shift that stigma too. Therapy is just another form of communication. It's just a neutral person that you're coming to help you process. You have the answers. You just may need someone to have that conversation to where you can really hear yourself and come to your own conclusions. Like my name says, it's just a creative conversation.
Hey, my people. This is Bobs and the Burbs, a podcast featuring talks with business leaders to help you find, fund, and amplify Black owned businesses in suburban areas and beyond. I'm your host, Ashley L. James, LinkedIn consultant and founder of ALJ Digital. And I'm on a mission to make sure our community's businesses are more visible online. My guest today is Monique Overstreet, the compassionate force and brilliant mind behind Creative Conversations, Therapy, and Supervision. Here's what I love about Monique's story. She started with a dream to be a school counselor and has now created a practice that's changing how therapy feels. Less clinical, more like conversations that matter. What sets her apart is more than her strengths-based approach or her networking game, though both are stellar. It's how she's actively mentoring the next generation of clinicians while keeping it real with her clients. Monique proves that therapy doesn't have to feel intimidating or stuffy because sometimes the most powerful healing happens when someone genuinely gets you. How you feeling about that, Monique?
I
Anything you want
love
to add?
that. Yeah, so I think you hit all of the points there. So I'm licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, and West Virginia. So I can hit all those target areas. Also with clinical supervision and starting to do some coaching things as well. Because some clients, they see me, we see each other for a while, we're consistent, and after a while, their goals are met. But
Mm,
sometimes they may need some maintenance. And so just coaching and making sure they stay on track, it becomes more task oriented, making sure they, do the task. So coaching piece is big there once, clients transition and even supervisees once they transition to full
yeah.
licensure. Some stay on just to have a support.
Makes sense. Yes. And you are that support system for them. So
Yes.
that's wonderful. And how did you get into this work? What inspired you to get started?
Well, the story behind that, again, like with the passion to be a school counselor, just didn't have a good connection with my high school counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought I did until it was time to send college applications in, and he just looked at me like, "You're really gonna send this?" And I was heartbroken a little bit. Like, what does that mean? So while I was the quiet type, I didn't say too much, but I did at that point. I remember saying, "I would never let nobody feel that way."
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, so that's kind of what got me there.
Okay, I love it. And now that you own your own practice and you're operating out of Lexington, what is something that sets you apart from other people doing what you're doing?
It's that building rapport piece. I've always been told that I'm great with building rapport, and then just that connection. I constantly
Mhm.
emphasize connection, and then just that quality over quantity piece, just so you can really connect with your clients and really like see them. So I think that's what stands out. That's how what puts sets me apart from them, from other businesses, because now there's so many therapy platforms you can get on. People are using
Oh, yeah.
AI. And so I want to make sure I just maintain that wholehearted connection with clients.
So you focus a lot on building that relationship to a space where clients not only go to you for the information that you're providing and the support that you're providing, but they have a real relationship. They trust you.
Yes, yes. The relationship piece is big, and I emphasize that in even in the, like, consultation when I start, and even with my supervisees,
Mhm.
I build a great relationship with them too because it gets hard, it does
Oh,
get
yeah.
hard, trying to figure this piece out, trying to figure out where you wanna go after graduating, in your program. It can definitely get hard and intimidating, so I wanna be that place where even the supervisees can come and say, "This is hard,"
Mhm.
and that's it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
And we all need that safe space, and just somebody to tell us to keep going sometimes. So I love that you're providing that for future mental health
Yeah.
professionals. That's wonderful. And in that work, either with supervision or as a provider, you have a success story where you kind of had an aha moment where you're like, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah, I have a quite a few of those, but I think starting off, my career started off with, child adolescent and the teen population, older
Mhm.
teens, and dealing with people who were, forced to do therapy, right? So
Mhm.
I think the aha moments came in where I just stuck it out with them, especially teens who were very resistant, teens who they could be, aggressive. But I'm like, okay, we're going to this out. I'm going to stay. And I think that just to know that I was there with them, that I would stay with them, even if they were acting out in a moment, I can tell like they eventually started to come along. Okay. Now they're coming back for therapy. Now they're talking. Now they want to create goals for themselves. Now they're appearing more confident
Yes.
just by someone just sitting and listening and not leaving them.
Yeah. So getting that student from that point of having all of this aggression and just maybe feeling lost to
Hmm.
getting more of that clarity and having them be able to open up and become more aware of what's going on and how they are able to control the situation and be able
Uh-huh.
to operate in a more productive way.
Hmm.
Okay. And so as you're, building your business, what is something that has been unique about operating in Lexington, North Carolina?
Um, I think the smaller, which I didn't realize, but the smaller environment
Mm,
allow allow my name and business to be out there more. I figured, coming from, being in Charlotte for so long, I'm like, this is going to be a transition coming to a smaller area that I have no idea, you know, I'm just learning this area. And
yeah.
so as I did the footwork and um, just kind of walked into businesses and, you know, tell them who I am, tell them about my business. I've gotten some great feedback and great connections. Um, and so I just think, yeah, with it seems like the smaller area has been more my advocate, more my support with
Mhm.
getting my business out there.
Okay, so being in that more of a close-knit community has
Hmm.
really been helping you. Are there some So were you always like that? Because it sounds like you're kinda out in the street and actually going into different
Hmm.
businesses and things like that. Is that what you were doing in Charlotte as well? Or is this something
Um,
a little bit newer because you're operating in a different space?
right. It's actually a little bit newer, not necessarily because I'm operating in a different space. I think it's more of now I'm a business owner. Now I gotta go. Now I gotta do the work, right? Now I have
Yeah.
to, you know, put myself out there. Like I had a lot of. I feel like Charlotte was just there's so many therapists, so many agencies. I've worked in so many of them, and I just think a new atmosphere for me helped for one,
Mhm.
but also it's just like that. Girl, you got to get out there. You're on your own now. You run
Yeah.
the bit. You're trying to, you know, build this business. And so I just put myself out there. So it is a newer thing for me.
Okay,
Mhm.
so the pressure was good for you. Are there
Yes.
some ways or some resources that have helped you operate as you're growing your business?
Yes, definitely. So, an agency here, well, they're in other locations, but RHA Services, they have definitely been a good advocate, support. They send clients to
Hmm.
me. They trust me, and so that was huge. They're a very good advocate for me. And
And
that's one of those.
RHA, what is it? What can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, it's more of like substance use treatment.
Ah, got you. Okay.
So yeah, so they do like, outpatient groups and things like that. They just don't have the one-on-one therapy piece.
Mhm.
Um, so
Okay.
they've been great, and even dealing with them, I've, been able to get connected to other just networking events and things like that. Other things that's helped my business is just having a business advisor, Antonio, with Operation Hope.
Mm.
He's definitely hold my feet to the fire. Definitely, like, giving good feedback, helping me just with the steps and learning how to make this business flow,
Mhm.
thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
And yeah, also giving other resources as well.
Mhm.
And then the business cohort, the NBIC, just the information that I'm getting from them is very good too. So, oh, and I gotta definitely say, just some peers that I talk to. I talk to a friend weekly, um, and she's also a therapist, and we talk
Mhm.
about you know um, how to increase our revenue in our business, different things, how to
Yeah.
work on our networking. We do a lot of just like talking things out and then making plans. So that's really
Yeah.
good in a business where, it just gets lonely when you're doing it by yourself.
Right. Oh, I love that. So you're reaching out and finding resources like
Mhm.
all the ones you mentioned, Operation Hope, RHA,
Uh-huh.
NBIC, and then also creating a community for yourself by
Mhm.
having somebody else that's also a therapist that you can
Yes.
talk to, build run ideas off of, and
Mhm.
all of those types of things. And so it sounds like you are very into creating community and networking.
Yes.
Like that's very
Yes.
big for you. Were you always like that, or is that something that you've developed over time?
It's definitely something I developed over time. I've always had people around me that were willing to help,
Mhm.
but asking for help is the big thing. So,
Right.
it's always a running joke just with therapists in general. It's like we don't like to ask for help, but we tell the people to ask for help, right? So, so
I
yes, I
think we
definitely
all
always
suffer a
had.
little bit of that, like, "Do as I say, not as I do."
Yes, yes. So I've definitely had great people and support, but for one, I just didn't know what to ask. And then to just
Mhm.
like feeling like a burden on people. But it's like, okay, girl, like, you know, use your resources. And so,
Exactly.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely starting to do that now and seeing that people are like, they will jump to help. They will definitely
Yeah.
do it with no hesitation.
Okay. And, let's talk a little bit more about Operation Hope and NBIC. Are those, organizations that are only in the North Carolina area? Like, how did you, learn about those and get involved with those organizations?
So I've been involved with Operation Hope for years. So
Mhm.
it had to be over like 4 years. I started with more of the budgeting and financial piece, like just for personal finances. And it was very helpful with just budgeting my regular life,
Yeah.
saving money, things like that. Because I wanted the goal was to buy a house, at that
Yes.
time. So that was really good. They're very consistent with their
Mm.
services, even though it's free. I don't know how they get their money, but I mean, they're very consistent with their
Mm.
services. NBIC is a newer. I just learned about them.
Mm. Wonderful. Okay. And so have they well, because you already were working with Operation Hope on the business side, so how did NBIC change that or, add to that even?
And I see more of the community piece because there's more people
Yeah.
there, more people to meet, form relationships with, bounce ideas off of. Again, that connection piece again for me,
Mhm.
but also just the different experts that they have provided for us to learn from.
Yes.
So different pieces of business that I did not even know of.
Mhm.
Like forming a relationship with your bank. I didn't know I needed to
Yes.
do that. Like,
Mhm.
you know, budget sheets or flow chart, all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm just a therapist. Like, I don't I don't know. But the structure of it and being able to get the information and now y'all have time to implement the information.
Yeah.
I think the structure of it helped too.
Love that. And I attest to the resources provided by MBIC as well. I've enjoyed hearing from experts, like you said, in the financial
Mhm.
field and just building your business. Having a relationship with your banker, that was something that seems obvious, but to me,
Yeah.
I didn't even really think about that either. It's like,
Mm-mm.
yes, I have a business bank. There, I'm not commingling funds. They talk about, you hear that
Right.
all
That's
the time.
it. Yeah.
I'm not commingling,
That's it.
and I thought that's really all that I
Me
needed.
too.
So hearing that information about making sure you're, taking this relationship to the next level of business, I
Yes.
really took that and ran with it. Like,
Me too.
I set up a meeting with my
Me
banker. I'm
too.
like, "We gonna know each other now."
Yep, I already had 2 meetings already, so yeah, yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna, yeah, do the steps, yeah. It's a lot of
Yeah,
good information.
absolutely. So that's been a wonderful program, a great resource.
Mhm.
Are there any other, tools or resources that, you have really enjoyed?
I'm trying to avoid information
That's
overload,
true.
right?
Mm,
So,
yeah.
there I was, like, paying for certain, courses. I was doing it, but I think where I'm at now is
Mhm.
good because, it gives me time to implement the things as opposed to
Yes.
just,
Taking
having
it
all
all
yeah,
in.
taking it
Yeah,
all
you can
in.
actually
Yes.
have time to implement all of the
Yes.
stuff that you're learning, so and
Yes.
that's the most important piece. I mean,
Mhm.
you could learn all day and still not get anything done, so
Right.
having
Right.
giving yourself that space,
Mhm.
that's good so that you can actually take action on what you've
Mhm.
learned.
I learned that the hard way. That's why I mentioned it. Yeah, just trying to get so much, and I was like,
Yeah.
this ain't working." So, tone it
Yeah.
down a little bit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love that. Um, okay, kind of moving into something more personal. Is there some common industry advice that you would actually disagree with? But we probably hear all the time, but you're just like, actually, now that I know.
Yeah, the biggest one that pops up is that coming into this field, you don't come in this field to make money, or
Mhm,
you can't make money coming into this field, and so that was ingrained, as you're, in school and all of that. And then once you like, okay, well, this is a passion of mine, so but I have to live too, so I have
right,
to
yeah.
figure this out. And so again, going back to that passion for supervising new therapists, it's like I want to get that mindset out the way. Like, you can figure it out, you can be creative, you can still do this, you can still have the passion for this and build a good business, build a successful business. I mean, people are doing it a lot,
Mhm.
but then you got to make sure you still have that quality work too.
Right, because you still have to live, and this is America. Prices are nothing is going down. Prices are going up every day. So you have to be able to cover your expenses. As a business owner, you have to be able to
Mhm.
cover your expenses.
Mhm.
So you're not gonna make no money, just does not work. You have to,
Right.
have something in there, some ways to and maybe you gotta
Mhm.
get creative
Mhm.
and some ways to be able to figure it out and make everything work.
Well, another thing too, I disagree with. You hear a lot of people say I have to be sick to, get a therapist, and
Mm,
that's definitely I don't agree with that either. So that's one of them, things. A lot of us therapists are trying to shift that stigma too.
shift
So
that thinking.
mhm.
So what would you replace that thinking with? Instead of someone saying you have to be sick in order to seek out therapy, what would you want them to say instead?
Therapy is just another form of communication. It's just a
Mhm.
neutral person that you're to, coming to help you process. You have the answers. You just may need someone to help that, have that conversation to where you can really hear yourself and come to your own conclusions. It's just like my name says, it's just a creative conversation.
Yeah.
That's it.
Kinda going along those same lines, is there a piece of wisdom that you will offer an aspiring Black entrepreneur, whether they're in the health space or not?
Trust the process. You definitely
Mhm.
got what it takes to do it. Um, yeah, and just take the baby steps. Don't think of like, I have to create this big thing now, and it has to work now. It's okay, let me take the small pieces and put those together to create the bigger piece. Because sometimes definitely thinking of like business as a whole and what you're supposed to do and how it's supposed to look could definitely be discouraging. Because like how I'm going to get from
Yeah.
here to there,
Yeah, that could
right?
be overwhelming.
Yes. How am I
Mhm.
going to get from just me by myself to 3, 4 locations,
Mhm.
So that's, so yeah, I have to just do the steps. So that's what I would say. Like, trust the process
Trust
and
it.
just do the steps. Don't stop.
Okay. And was there something that kinda helped you get to that mindset, as you were building your business that maybe you just had experiences that helped you get to that mindset, or was there something that you did? Or maybe you were just born with it. Maybe it's enabling for you.
Definitely think a lot of prayer. Definitely trusting God in that. Um And that again, going back to that, relationship and connection piece, like
Mhm.
having like I said, my friend who we chat all the time about the struggles of business, but also like, no, we're gonna this is what we want to do.
Yeah,
So what are the good things that we're doing? What are the things that we need to be working on? So that community piece,
yeah.
definitely.
Finding the
Um,
community.
yeah, that connection,
Mhm.
community, and a lot of prayer.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Must have that. Gotta have the Lord in it because
Uh-huh.
he will show you some things, but you
Mhm.
gotta be willing to be open and listen.
Mhm, it's like, "God, if you push me out here, then okay, tell me what to do." You know? Mhm.
Okay, so what is a book or a podcast, or you might have more than one, that has shifted the way that you think?
Definitely, Black Girls Heal. A lot of I used to listen to her a whole lot just for my personal like you said, my personal, mental health.
Mhm.
So that she has helped. And she's another one that has, like, the sometime podcast, like, she has the voice that can soothe. She has the
Oh,
way
yeah.
she does, her podcast, is good, and, CEO Conversations helped with
Mm,
more of the business pieces,
okay.
how to scale your business, how to hire people, how to bill, like, all kinda different things, so she definitely her approach is, like, step into your CEO status, like,
Oh, that's right.
confidently.
Yes.
Yes. Also, just listening to, like, Tabitha Brown, she's
Mhm.
one that has that soothing voice too,
Yes, he does.
So listening to her quotes and seeing, how, she came along, she's inspiring as well.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Those are some great recommendations. And I mean, continuing along that path of
Mhm.
recommendations, tell us about Lexington, your favorite place there to meet for lunch or tea or just, somewhere fun to go.
Just hang out. So I'm
Hmm.
still exploring Lexington. So I'm usually just kind of driving around, going to the basic places like they have a arcade. So for fun, there's a adult arcade. So that's fun. and just going to the regular, like, Applebee's and stuff like that,
Yeah,
it's not too much around. So,
I got
but
you.
but everybody is so friendly here,
Oh, that's
in
good.
my experience, and so everywhere I do go, I feel welcome. But yeah, still exploring Lexington, though.
What? Okay, I might have to make a trip because
And, the Childress Winery is right up the street too.
oh,
Mhm, Childress
that sounds
Winery.
like
I
a nice
forgot
spot
about that,
too.
so that's really pretty place to just go and, whether you drink wine or not, to just sit and, like, see the view and get the
Yeah.
tour and all that. It's really, really nice.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Okay, so I know where to go when I make my trip and who to call, you got recommendations. Okay, and last recommendation, what is a song that's your anthem right now? And I'm asking this one because we have our Work It Out playlist on YouTube, and so I ask for guest recommendations every episode so that we can add songs to our playlist.
Mhm, mhm. Well, specific song I can't think of, but what I know every time I see Pastor Mike Jr.,
Mhm.
he is a pastor, of course, but also a recording artist,
Yeah.
and his songs are really, really kinda hype, and
Yes,
so
okay, that high
yes.
energy, that's what we
So
like. Yes,
mhm,
okay.
so Pastor Mike Jr., Mike Teezy. Mike Teezy is also an artist, but he's also a close friend too, but
Oh,
he's an artist, and his songs are really good. Um, I would say yeah, I can't think of favorite, but yeah, but
okay.
Pastor Mike Jr. stands out and Mike Teezy.
Well, those sound like some good ones to, look into and add some songs for, so that's perfect, thank you.
Mhm.
Alright, so moving on to how folks will find fun and amplify you. If listeners tell one person about you today, what is the big takeaway that you want them to share?
That I'm approachable, that I'm personable.
Mhm.
I just like to when I leave someone, I want them to feel good about the interaction with
Yes.
me. And
Mhm.
so that's just always been big, making people feel good. So I guess that's why I'm in therapy, right? So I mean, I'm a therapist and in therapy. That's important to say. But
Yeah.
yeah, making people feel good. So I just want them to say like, she was a vibe. She was a good
Mhm.
vibe, personable. I feel good around her or talking to her. Feel empowered.
Yeah, so creating that welcoming atmosphere
Mhm.
somewhere where people want to be. They flock towards you because 'cause they're like,
Right.
"Monique, she gets me."
Yes. Yep. Yep. You said it best. Yep. That's that's exactly what I want people to say.
Perfect, and what's the best way for advocates, people that wanna support you, to move beyond just maybe liking the post that you put out, but actually support you right now?
I would definitely say I'm always open to feedback and advice. So if someone has an expertise in a certain area, I'm always open to hearing what their expertise is, and how
Okay.
we can connect on that. Also, just, going to my website and also putting reviews in. So website is creativeconversationstherapy.com. So I'm putting reviews in, and also word of mouth. I think that's been kind of the biggest thing. People, you know, telling other people. Just tell
Yeah.
other people about my business, and more so new clinicians, telling
Mhm.
new clinicians about my business, telling schools about my business that has the master's program. So once their, clinicians graduate, they can look me up to get their supervision hours. So yeah, I think just word of mouth is what I'm saying. Word of mouth
Okay.
and going on my website. Or they can also just text me. That's that
Ooh.
personable piece. Like, it seems to work a lot with just communication
Mhm.
um between clients, supervisees, and just really and processing things in the moment. Some clients will text and say, I'm struggling with this piece. And I let them know this is not an emergency thing. I can't
Yeah.
answer, right then all the time. But yeah, that's open to do that. Yep.
Wonderful. I love that extra layer of access and just
Mm-hmm.
being able to have you when they need you, even in the
Mm-hmm.
moment. So that's wonderful. I
Mm-hmm.
love what you're building. Like
Yes.
that's beautiful. Yes. Um
Thank you.
You're welcome, of
Mhm.
course. So this has been a great conversation and I really appreciate you being here with me today. Before we hop off, is there anything else you want to say?
No, just thanks for the opportunity, definitely. And yeah, with this business, I mean, it's definitely been a hard but rewarding journey.
Mhm.
And eventually, I'm hoping to just continue to expand and allow this business to be a blessing for therapists and clients. I want
Mhm.
this to be more of a learning hub for people to get everything they need, one stop shop, you
Yes.
know. So, but yes, thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. I appreciate you so much and hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Thanks, Monique. Bye.
Bye.
All right, my people. That brings us to the end of this episode of Bob's and the Burbs. You should know your support sets the tempo for our community's growth. And with that in mind, please be sure to find, fund, and amplify. To find, check out the show notes to see the links mentioned during Monique's episode. To fund, head over to creativeconversationstherapy.com and set up an appointment. To amplify, share one insight from this episode on your favorite feed and tag me or ALJ Digital. For more conversations like this one, please subscribe on YouTube or your podcast player of choice. You'll catch new episodes on the third Thursday of the month. You can also connect with me, Ashley L. James, on LinkedIn, where I empower established service-based business owners to leverage the platform organically to attract their people. Thanks for joining me today, and until next time.